It says it right there.
We're ready to go? Yes. Today is January 11th, right?
Do you want a paper one so you can
Yeah.
follow along and then follow along?
I just want to make sure it's the right, I look at the staff one, with all the stuff in it.
Then you don't have to go back here.
I don't know.
I gave
I'm
him
good.
one.
I'm good. No, I got the report. I just didn't have. I want to make sure they're the same, obviously. Okay, this is the Planning Commission meeting to be held on Tuesday, January 11th, 2022 at 6 PM. The time is now 6:01 PM. This meeting is called to order. Would you please call the roll?
Alderperson Kastner.
Present.
Commissioner Rogers is excused. Commissioner Weiss is excused. Don Carlson. Dave Schills is excused. Bob Krenz.
Here.
Mike Braswell.
Present.
And Mayor Knightsky.
I'm here. We have a quorum. Item 2 is I'd entertain a motion to approve the December 14th meeting minutes. Motion by Commissioner Carlson, second by Commissioner Krantz. All in favor?
Aye.
I abstain. I wasn't.
Okay, thanks.
Mr. Braswell abstains, so it's 4-4 affirmatives in favor of approval. Item 3 is discussion regarding last common council meeting. I guess it's
Yeah, we held a public hearing for city food equipment on Loomis Road, and that was approved by the Common Council.
awesome. Item 4A and 4B is a special use review for the tenant change at Cousin Subs, an existing business at 7495 West Layton Avenue, submitted by Thomas Jones, doing business as Brother Sister Subsystem, Inc. This is also the site plan review for that tenant. I looked at I'd make a motion to approve the change in tenancy. And just
Are they
remind them
here?
to keep are they here?
Uh,
Is anybody here?
Must not be. Tom said that he probably had a conflict tonight, so.
That's fine.
And I said to him, I
I mean,
think
just
that
remind
that's
them to
okay.
keep the back of the building clean, right? Where the
Yep,
garbage is.
and he did agree already to move those drums. Yep.
That's the thing. So,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Carlson, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. This is approving the site, both items. Item 5A and 5B is another change in ownership. This is to Loomis Food and Beverage, an existing business located 4415 West Loomis Road, submitted by Ramnek Narwal and Jagveer Narwal. I hope I pronounced that right. You guys here?
They're in quarantine.
They're in quarantine?
Yes.
Okay. I've seen your comments with regard to banners and signage and stuff outside, and
Yeah, just general cleanup of the site. And I actually spoke to them about this. They had no issues. We're requesting to give them some extra time. That you can see the soffit has blown off, and then the fence has fallen down till June of the 2022, the summer, to fix those two things.
awesome.
You would think people would make these fixes before they come before us.
Right. I was thinking.
You would
I
just
think that.
kind of like put it on a suit and tie before you get an interview kind of deal.
I
I
think this
feel
is a situation
unrespected, quite
where
honestly.
the burden falls on the new owner as opposed to any expense endured by the previous owner.
Do you want to sell the property?
We did ask that the stuff you see on this screen here be cleaned up prior to us providing occupancy to them. Yep. And of course, it could change the next day, but it's an effort to clean up. Yep.
Okay.
Good price on beer, too.
Yeah, I mean, so the window signage thing is always a challenge.
Yeah, that too.
The code is 25%.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
They
people
always
we
have.
sometimes gets carried away. All right, so is there a motion to approve
Motion to approve
by Kastner?
with all the
Second by Krantz,
recommendations.
incorporating staff's recommendations. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next is site and architectural plans for King Family Dentistry. This is the former site of Bed Bunks and Beyond, right? It's a new ownership for the building. Are they here? Are you a dentist or are you an architect? So do they pay in dental work or no?
They don't.
They don't, no, that's too bad. Did you want to go through?
Yes, please, thank you. So yes, they're purchasing the entire building. They're going to occupy probably about 2/3 of it. The existing tenant in the western space will remain. Internal renovations, some minor exterior alterations. So this is the view from the back of the building. They'll remove those 2 overhead doors, fill them in with CMU, add windows, and then do some grade changing, obviously, since they no longer need the loading docks. And then they're going to add 2 windows to that east facade, and this is the new rendering of what it will look like. And then for the front, some just simple changes, paint the CMU and the EFIS canopy trim. And then as far as sites, it's in good condition. There's a large gravel area you can see in the site. Just recommending that it be seeded or landscaped within 2 years.
Yeah, that was supposed to be done a long, long time ago.
Okay.
Just so we-
Who is the owner? Is it new owners?
It is a new ownership.
New owner, yes.
Dr. King is already, he is in the village, or in the city already. He's moving into this new location.
Is he like
So-
a brand new owner, or has he owned it for like a year or two?
He's owned it for about a year, right?
Okay.
So we've been working with him to develop a plan to
Okay.
redo the inside of the building. I spoke to Dr. King, and he is open to grassing that back area, but he did ask if that could be pushed from 2 years to 5. This is a fairly substantial expansion for him, and he's looking for a little bit more time to make that change to that back gravel area. So he asked me to request that.
I don't have a problem, but 5 years is,
Yeah, how do you keep track of that? I mean,
Yeah,
Keep track, even 2 years.
yeah, we put a reminder in our Outlook calendar. It's hard, especially when it's put out that far, but.
how about 3 years?
We'll take anything we can get, but like I said, we're improving the lot quite a bit. You
I'd
know,
say a year.
do they,
So,
That's a bit much, but
do they utilize it for the Harley Fest? Do they even know Harley Fest goes on? I assume they do.
he's down the street. He's fairly close to this location already, so I'm sure he's aware of Harley Fest pretty
I
well.
think they've been working with them.
yeah.
They've worked with them previously, I thought,
I'm not sure.
but,
Well,
I mean, if they hadn't sold the building, it would probably be gravel forever. Let's do 2 years, but in 2 years, he can come back,
that
Okay.
was a good theory.
right?
and request
if they're still-
extension if needed.
Just
If
right,
you still is
the minutes
concerned,
can reflect that we understand that.
okay,
but we-
that's fair.
But we got to keep an eye on it, too.
Understood. Okay.
Or pave it, I guess.
Paving, we don't want to do.
Alright.
That's
That'd
quite
be
a bit
more
more
expensive
expensive.
I'm thinking that, but,
Yeah, quite a bit.
unless need comes up.
Okay.
And for him, I don't see a need that he would need all that parking, so.
Gotcha.
I'd make a motion to approve as presented.
second.
With the 2 years. Second by Carlson, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. 7, 8, and
Sir,
7.
does he work by himself or there is another dentist there?
Yeah, he's a sole practitioner.
Oh, okay, thank you.
7A and B are the special use permit for Happy Endings, no kill cat shelter. And 7B is the site plan review. This is a building located 5349 West Forest Home Avenue. Wait, no, that's where they were, right? They are currently. Okay, I'm sorry. I need glasses and I haven't, so. And this would be to be located 4925 West Forest Home. You're currently located 5349 West Forest Home. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a special use permit.
Make a motion.
Okay, thank you.
To approve the item as presented and schedule a special hearing,
Yep.
special use hearing. Is that reasonable? Yeah?
Great.
Yep.
I saw this and I thought it was a massage place and that would really
He
be.
thought it was Happy Endings Massage. That's what he thought.
Oh, geez.
We do have, where we are now, a couple doors down a massage.
Yeah, it zigs in and out. Yeah.
This would just be ours, no massage.
Larry David.
Okay, I made that motion. Is there a second? Do we already do that?
I'll do a second. No,
Second by Braswell, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. That good? You're welcome. 8A and B, this is a special use review for the change of the Loomis Road Amico at 5030 West Loomis, submitted by Sanjeev Dringa. I'm not pronouncing it well, I'm sorry, apologize for that. That's you guys? You guys have done really good. You got some issues with the parking? in that
Um,
lot?
there's some outdoor storage of stuff. They are requesting, one thing I would think we should mention is they're requesting, the extra hour to stay open from 9, instead of 9 PM closing, 10 PM. No concerns there. Again, we've got some outdoor storage issues with salt and firewood. Also, the lights are angled up. They do need to be moved down parallel to the ground. Again, we asked for those items to be taken care of prior to occupancy.
That's right. So the lights have to be down, that's by code, right? So I understand, there's going to be a tendency for you to put them back up every year. Don't do that, because then we have to send somebody out there to send you a letter to, right? So. And try not to clutter up your windows, right? That's, make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Carlson, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. This has got to be one of the easiest planning commissions we've ever been in, except for this doozy that's coming up with these condominiums. All right,
Get the address right.
so I use this because I can make it bigger. See that?
I know, I got
You
one of
see
those
that? You
things,
see, it's
yeah.
like a magnifying glass.
It does work.
All right, 9 is site landscaping and architectural plans for proposed new construction of Creekside condominium relocated at 6040 South.
4060.
4060.
We had a typo. We had a typo.
4060.
Thank
Submitted
you.
by Ryan Jansen, doing business as Jansen Bruckner LLC, and Joe Eldridge, doing business as Colliers International. This is probably the most approved piece of property for condo development in the history of the city. Always seems to start when, right?
Well, it wasn't easy. They had the prior development had to put the bridge in, they put the road, we put the
Right.
road in. And we promised that pocket of the neighborhood that we would tie them into the rest of the city with a sidewalk pedestrian path to go to, I think it's 123rd,
Something like
through
that.
their right-of-way and the city's right-of-way.
Right.
So I would love to see them incorporate that in, because I think it would be a huge benefit to the $400,000 condos that are gonna be there. And I have no objection to the 2 extra condos, which would probably be an extra $1.5 million. You following me on that? If we have to at least put in their portion, and then we put in ours? You following me?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, and you following this at all?
I remember that there was going to be a path, that we've always wanted a path, and that's
To
what,
connect, because you're kind of landlocked, because you got 124th, with this, for pedestrians, a death trap, and so is
so what do you,
Howard.
where would that go?
Upper right hand at about 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and then see the blue lines, that's the city
So
right
as we're
away.
looking at this, you're talking about the upper right
Yeah,
horizontal line right there?
Here?
From
well, that's
there,
the river,
right, that's the creek.
that's the creek, but that's actually our land too, but that's on the wrong side of the creek, so the path would have to go on their property to feed to the street that we never put in, and never will, which is further to the right.
So,
That goes out to 123rd.
Here?
so is there a path in there? I don't know.
No, there's,
Is that where you want a path?
our people will kind of carry their bikes across to get to the Oak Leaf that way.
Oh, okay. So the request is to
To
put
that
in a
section
path,
of
construct a path.
Back in,
on their property
on their property and
to our boundary.
to our boundary, and we put in,
And they would put that path in now, or would they put that path in when we put our path in?
I would think now would be the appropriate time, and we can use the park fees, although they only have $1,800 in park fees, because they already paid them.
Yes, right. Times 2, 3,600. It's 1806 per unit.
18 per unit?
Yep.
I could damn near pay a 100-foot, 150-foot path.
Not today,
No?
no. But, okay, so you understand what he's saying?
No, but we'll work with you in engineering.
Other than that, there was always an issue with density, and I think that density's kind of evaporated.
That
If the
is
path goes in,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Is somebody here for this?
I am, but I'm not on on the development end of it, but,
Are you a neighbor?
no, I'm actually gonna be doing sales when these are completed, so I'm
Okay.
on the back end.
Okay, if you want to come up,
Okay.
is there a mic?
Yeah, it's on, yep.
Okay.
Well, that'd be a good selling point, wouldn't it? mean,
I would, it always.
It'd be a good selling point to have that path, because then you could
True.
say, hey,
I just don't know where it goes, so we'd have to figure.
Am I pointing to the general vicinity correctly, Carl?
That is where it would go, and
Okay.
about 100 feet to 200 feet from there is a street that dead ends
East?
into nothing.
East or east? There's a street, okay.
And it's a north-south street,
Okay, okay.
That's right over here.
yeah. And that,
Let me see if I have a
I think you
picture.
had one that you could see actually on there.
So this actually will help with the marketability too? Seriously?
I remember in an advertisement from when they were originally gonna do it, I think the path was
Oh,
in
shoot.
there. I don't know the location, but.
And you'd want any park fees to be dedicated.
To the
The
neighborhood
The
connection.
understanding is
back-
that any park fees that may be forthcoming would be. Would
go
help
back
contribute to
here.
the continuation of the path.
Here, okay.
Yep, so there, that's.
are you
it.
saying 123rd, not 122nd?
Whatever street that is. I-
122nd,
122nd. yeah, it's
122nd.
okay.
I think people walk through there anyways.
They kind of do, but it's not easy.
So you want to connect 122nd to Waterford?
Yeah,
Got it.
Yep,
With a pedestrian path.
yes.
yep, and I would have to go through that property, I get what Carl's saying.
And then you literally could go to the Oak Leaf, which you could then hit the Hank Aaron, you could hit
Power line.
the power line one we're putting down. It'd be a beautiful thing, if you're there. And I
So-
know bikers are in that other complex, so.
I don't have any objection to any of this stuff.
I don't either.
I'd make a motion to
Do you-
approve if you do that.
Okay. Do you know if the plan that he proposed, would that path change any of his layout? Is there enough room, I'm saying, for the path to go in there?
I think there is.
There should be to the
It's
north.
on top of a
Yeah.
water right-of-way or stormwater
Yep,
right-of-way.
stormwater easement, yep.
Okay, so there
Sanitary
wouldn't be an
sewer
issue
easement.
there.
And I think a
No.
stormwater under a path is not the end of the world. And it gives us access to that, because we have to maintain the damn trees that are back there. So then we can drive our trucks to get to the trees that fall in the creek. to
So there'd
remove-
have to be the appropriate access and easement associated with the path. right?
And our engineering department will draft that language. And he has to sign a development agreement anyways, so it'll all be incorporated into that, yep.
Yeah,
It's not really a big deal. He'll
No.
gripe about it,
Yeah,
but it's actually ultimately a good thing,
yeah.
okay?
And the applicant was fine with our recommendations too, just so you know. Andrew's spoken to him just about,
the retaining walls and,
yep, and some extra brickwork. He actually said that's what he wanted, but it didn't get drawn up correctly, so,
I'd make a motion to approve it.
Okay.
I'll second.
they're huge buildings.
All in favor?
Aye. What are they asking?
We don't know yet. I'm gonna guess 400 range. We want to keep it under 4, but,
Well, they
For the,
not
for the
not
complete building or per?
Per
once?
unit.
Per
Per
unit?
unit.
yeah.
Oh, boy.
So right now, construction costs are $275 a foot, which is absolutely insane.
Right.
And these are with the exposed basement, huge.
1,600
Yeah.
square feet.
That's
So
without the
this
basement.
construction's probably over 300,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's out for
which would
bid
mean that
right
a
now.
2,000 square foot house or condo would be $600,000 to construct,
Yeah,
which is tough.
That's ridiculous.
It can't be sustained. I just saw something too today with lumber. It had been going down. And I don't remember where it started at, but it had gone down to $850 for whatever it was. And I can't remember what the board feet was. Now it's back up to $1,150.
back up.
Yeah, wood went back up the
Like
last
crazy.
few weeks.
It-
Yeah.
Like a lot.
You don't
Like
think
a
it's ever
third.
gonna go down?
I
What
think
goes down? What really goes down in cost?
I think things will go down once the supply chains recover, but I think that'll be 2 years.
It's gonna be a while.
2 years from when, though? 2 years from now, or 2 years from like the end of 2022?
Tomorrow, 2 years from tomorrow.
Yeah, starting
Tomorrow.
now.
So I
there's no way
think
it's 2 years
that
from
when
now.
all this stuff started, there was a lot of stuff in the pipeline. And that all got burned up, right? So the supply chains have really started to suffer, kind of like the end of last summer, is when it really started to hit. So I would say 2 years from the end of last summer. 2021
Yeah.
summer, that's what I would say, but I don't know.
Well, it's
That's just a guess.
Canada won't let us in or out.
It's not even that. Most of the lumber comes from down south, and I think it's a labor thing, and
Well-
it's a whole bunch of stuff. It's been a weather thing too down there. Most of it's southern, what kind of pine is it down there? That they grow in the
Southern pine?
sand? Is it red or
Yeah, we
white?
get most of our lumber from the
That's
south.
where most of it comes from, is from
Yeah.
Alabama, Georgia, Florida,
But what happened was,
Mississippi.
when the crap hit the fan 2 years ago, a lot of sawmills closed down, and they haven't opened.
Yeah.
So it's, it's a chain.
So the other thing that I read a huge article, most people, this idea that we went to just in time too, for everything. So
that's no
nobody
longer-
carried inventories really like they used to anymore.
Nope.
So when things are just in time and there's nothing in time, and then it's not in time further and further, right? And the capacity's not there, right?
There's all kinds of.
Capacity is only there to make it just in time. There's nobody cares.
Did we vote on
We
it?
denied it. Huh? You are.
Fastest meeting ever.
We saw you weren't here, so we bumped you up.
Yeah.
It was a repeat from last time, sorry, guys.
All in favor? All
Aye.
opposed, motion
Did
carries.
you want to explain what we just did to him?
You have to put a path in.
What's that?
You have to put a path in.
That's it, one more
You have to
time?
put a
Path.
path in,
Oh, to the.
Pedestrian path.
To the west or whatever?
east.
East.
East, sorry, east.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's it.
It'll
It
be a beautiful
passed.
thing.
good thing one of us is responsible.
It's passed, yeah.
I got all dressed up here.
She did very well, actually, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We were all riveted, actually.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, item 10 is final subdivision plat for Parkview Estates, a proposed single-family development to be located at South 35th and Barnard. There he is back there. So from what I can tell, you did everything he was supposed to, right?
Yeah, the biggest piece of conversation piece was that frontage road, which doesn't get incorporated in a plat, which is what we're reviewing tonight. However, engineering is very well aware when the civil drawings are submitted for units 1, 2, and 3, that frontage road will be included, and also a flare, as we talked about, to get vehicles, so they don't have to go all the way down south to, what road is that? South of Barnard. Is
It's
that-
all good, right?
Yeah, we're
I
all
make a
good.
motion to approve.
We have all the mechanisms in place to
The
make sure.
mechanisms
it's-
are
We
in
do.
place to
Yep,
finalize.
a development agreement has to be signed, all those provisions will be included, yeah.
Okay, is that good? I
Yes.
make- Second by Braswell, all in favor? All
Aye.
opposed, motion carries. Any reports from anybody?
I don't really know. I don't know.
So Loomis, 894 and Loomis is pretty much sealed up until spring,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the weather. Layton Avenue is open, thank God. The new
I
road.
drove it.
The new road going into Festival should be, I don't know if it's open, I think it is open, the old one's out, right? The former 28th Street. Haven't heard anything with regard to someone who approached us with Spring Mall for quite some time. Southridge is certainly exciting news for Greendale, although I'm not sure, I'm a little concerned about 700 or 800 apartments on 15 acres of land.
Yeah.
And then on the news, they talked about 50,000 square feet of retail, also on that 15 acres of land. So I'm thinking that the project's got to be bigger and it's all conceptual.
I think
Got
they're
it.
going up, right? They're going up.
I thought 4 stories, though, so I don't know how you get that many. That's a lot of units, right?
And the building's coming down?
That's what they,
Boston Star, whatever.
so it sounds like they're in their infancy, and we've been through this a million times, right? So I'm sure whatever happens will be much different than,
Well,
Right.
Yeah.
there's an article in the paper too about, they're concerned about the increase in students in the, school district too.
Everybody always is.
Some
Not
want
enough
it, some want them,
resources.
some don't.
Yeah. What we found with most of the apartments that we're putting in, the higher buck ones, I guess, if that's the right, market rate ones, there's very little impact on the schools.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
So, I don't know.
A lot of times it's dual family things. They're in the district anyhow.
Yeah,
Right.
84 South, any more on that?
There has been some discussion with regard to the corner that seems extremely positive,
Oh, okay.
but it's still preliminary.
Mhm.
One of the problems that's real right now is the construction prices for everything.
Oh, yeah.
You can't build something for 600,000 that you can only sell for 300 or 400, right? That's an issue, and I think that's uniform along a
The
residential.
margin of error is very limited now because one supplier can hold the whole thing up and everyone else is in line.
Yeah.
And you can't proceed with the project. And then they're not guaranteeing prices out longer than 30 days instead of 3 months.
Right.
So
Uh,
a lot of.
There's the hospital that, well, we did a walk through the hospital over there, and there were some components, right, that they needed that was preventing the hospital from opening, right?
100th Street hasn't opened yet, has it? 100th Streht hasn't
That's the one
opened.
I'm talking about.
Oh, it's not open yet?
It's close to being
You're talking about 103rd, right?
103rd, right, 103rd,
Oh, I guess they're both about 100th Street.
100, that's 103rd, right? 103rd in Oklahoma?
Yeah, Oklahoma one, how about that?
103rd.
Yeah.
Their goal was the end of January.
Okay.
The original goal, I think, was before then.
Yeah, I drive by every morning. I see more furniture and stuff being added a little bit more each day, so
Yeah.
I can see through the windows.
Here, as I can tell, most of it's supply chain and labor,
Yeah, I think so.
so it's not getting any better right now. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
Anything else? Questions? There was one other thing.
Is the city having problem getting booster shots or any kind of vaccines?
So it's scheduled out usually 4 to 7 days to get them.
Yeah. I mean, but the supply chain there isn't a problem.
So I was just at a virtual ICC meeting yesterday, and test kits, the state seems to be stockpiling them and not releasing them the way they should be. So we're signing a letter to send off to the state to try to get these things released. It's amazing to me that we're 2 years into this and there's a shortage of tests, right?
Right.
Same thing with masks now. It's like, well, we've been through this entire, right, with masks, and, well, cloth is better than no mask, right? But we were using cloth masks because we didn't have surgical and N95 masks, but everybody knew that those were better. But there still seems to be a shortage or a distribution problem with the ones that do exist.
I think in March, there's gonna be plenty of them. And no
Well,
one's gonna be wearing them.
So there was an interesting article in the Washington Post. Some guy 2 years ago said that everybody will catch COVID, right? Sooner or later, they're gonna get it, right? And, I don't know. Whatever I say, it's gonna be the wrong thing, right?
I think you're right on that one. And people
But it-
don't even know they got it, so how could you even prove yes or no? And there's not enough testing, so we don't even know if they're positive, because we can't test them.
And,
And if you have self-test, you don't tell anyone anyway, so
yes, so there's all sorts of, I mean, our goal has always been to keep the curve flat. We started that in March or March of 2020. And that was so the healthcare system wouldn't be overwhelmed. The goal has always been to protect the most vulnerable, right? Try to get shots in their arms and, keep them protected until they could get shots in their arms. 80 or 90% of if you looked at the curve of who's getting shots, while the state average may be like 50, 60%, something like that, if you look at the higher age end, it's 80, 90%. And if you get down in the teens and 20s and 30s, it's like 30, 20, 30, 40%. So the vulnerable are protected to the extent that they can be with the virus. I mean, that's always the goal, right?
You know how these tests work? That every time they come out with a new test, it can detect a lower quantity of
Yes.
COVID, okay? So at what point is that test beneficial? Because if there's never anyone with symptoms, and you're saying that they have
Yeah,
COVID,
it's called viral load, right?
Yeah.
So if you take the home test kit, you'll get, there's a lot of false negatives because it's not detecting low viral loads, like how much virus is in you,
Yeah.
right? For lack, that's an anecdotal description, right?
So you
But
can
a
have-
PCR test is incredibly sensitive, so if there's a small viral load, it'll still show up as a positive. It doesn't differentiate either what the load actually is, whether it's, boy, this guy is super duper sick, or this person is, 6 weeks from having it or something, right? So that's an issue.
see,
So
two
what we see,
individuals.
and I get arguments, it hasn't changed, the polar positions on this stuff, right?
Two people can have the same viral load. But if they have different, what they call neutralizing antibodies, that's what makes the difference.
Absolutely, and
So-
if you have whatever you want to call them, right? If you're older, if you're diabetic, or if you're overweight, or if you've had this, or you have, compromised immune systems, I mean, all of those things play into it in one way, shape, or form.
And you've got to activate the T cells. The T cells are the most important element, but no one ever talks about the T cells.
Yeah.
If you don't have any T cells in your
The
body,
good thing is, since we're agended this under Wildcat condominium, there is a T-cell building right here. That's why they make it look like that.
We're a little bit off, aren't we?
Yeah, a little bit. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I was just told today that since all of this started in the city, and I haven't been at a meeting, since COVID started to the end of November, there were 71 cases as far as employees in the city that had tested positive. Since December 1st to now, we've had 39. So it's clearly spiking, but the things with PCRs and COVID loads and,
Thank God it's only 5 days now.
well, I think that was probably the recognition that, right?
No,
The tests are showing things. So I'd entertain a motion to adjourn
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
at 6:33 by Don Carlson, second by Mr. Kranz.